Mom, stop calling us Screamo. I told you we're a post-hardcore band. What's up, everybody? I'm Finn McKenty. This is the Punk Rock MBA, and today we are talking about music videos, because everybody talks about their favorite songs, right? But what about the videos? Nobody talks about music videos. So today, I would like to change that by talking about some of my favorite music video tropes from the late 2000s Warped Tour scene. August Burns Red and Of Mice and Men and Asking Alexandria, the story so far, all that kind of stuff. And before I get into it, I would like to thank Hustle Castle for sponsoring this video. Hustle Castle gives you the chance to be the lord of your own medieval castle. You build out your castle room by room, recruit new people to live in it, train them up in classes like fighter and archer and sorcerer, then go attack enemy fortresses, battle enemies like orcs and giants and treants and dragons, all leading up to your quest to defeat the big bad boss, the Lord of the Abyss. I really like the art and writing in this game, kind of like Family Guy meets D&D. So download Hustle Castle via my link below, enter your nickname, and get a special bonus for new players. 250 diamonds and 3,500 gold pieces. You know I love geeking out on upgrades and stats and that kind of thing, so I really like the castle management part of this game. There's all kinds of different room types to build and upgrade and combine. I would recommend building a fighter training room as soon as possible. And every single castle dweller has a bunch of different equipment slots, each of which you can individually tweak and upgrade. There's a bunch of different skins for your castle. The options are almost limitless. You can find my clan under the name PRMBA and join it to play together with me. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. And just to be clear, I'm joking around here. I sincerely love all this stuff, so if I am making fun of your band or your video, no offense intended, it is all in good fun. First of all, we have the definitive music trope of the whole scene era, the band playing in a grassy field. I'm not sure if they were like the very first band ever to do it or anything like that, but August Burns Red Composure video was definitely the thing that kicked this trend off. Because after they did it, like all of a sudden, every fucking band had a grassy field video. Bonus points for every orange amp or set of truth drums in the video. Because if you are from Dayton or Toledo or Columbus, which for some reason is where like a bafflingly large number of these bands were from, and you want to make a video but you don't have any budget, what do? The bassist says, my Uncle Jeff has a farm, we could probably like do a video there. And the next thing you know, you're dragging your gear across the field as the neighbors stare at you. What the ding dang old hell is going on over here? Who the hell are those kids and what the goddamn shit did they do to their hair? And then as you're carrying your orange amp through the field, you step in some cow shit and you're like, fuck, because you're wearing your brand new Toms that you bought just for the video shoot and they're super thin, so your foot is like totally immersed in the poop and you can feel it squishing between your toes, but the show must go on. And along the same lines, the whole like band rocking out on a rooftop or top floor of a parking garage thing. I'm not sure who started this. The first one I remember was Texas in July, I think, but there were tons and tons of bands that did this. The singer's like, we gotta do a video, but I don't want to do a grassy field video. Everybody does a grassy field video. And again, Jeff, the bassist who works at a parking garage, says, well, my boss is gonna be gone on Tuesday. We could probably do it there. We just can't use any of the reserve spots. And it gets really awkward when two bands shoot a video on the exact same rooftop. For example, Asking Alexandria. And my friend Trey Xavier's band. How does this even happen? Is there like a shortage of parking garages in LA? Or did they go to the same director and he just didn't bother to tell them that he had already used that location? And next up, two kind of related tropes, both of which involving a girl. The first one is actually pretty cringy and aged very, very, very badly. The whole like terrified girl tied to a chair thing. I'm sure they weren't like the very first to do it, but the first one I remember would be Carnifex. But again, there were lots and lots more examples of this. And I don't really have anything funny to say about this one because honestly, I don't think it's funny. I think it's kind of gross and it's an unfortunate reflection of how accepted misogyny was in the scene back then. Kind of like all those impact font shirts with some edgy slogan about a slut or something on the back. In hindsight, you're like, how did everybody think this was okay? But with that said, not all examples of this trope were quite so gross. For example, the iconic Stick Stickly video. This one is much more gentle. She's not restrained, she's just resting in the chair. Just taking a little breather before she goes back to whatever she was doing in that abandoned house. Or a Skylit Drive where she's not really restrained, she's just like, get these weird glowing hula hoops off me. And occasionally you would even get a guy in the chair, usually like, plot twist, the killer is her, but she's a sexy killer. And the more benign version of this is the girl walking or running around for no particular reason trope. Probably because like Cody's girlfriend really wanted to be in the video and he was like,
no, dude, it'll be cool. She's taking like 4 acting classes.
The band is playing their hearts out, screaming something really emotional and meaningful, usually playing in a grassy field or a forest. And then suddenly it cuts to a shot of a girl in a sheer dress, kind of wandering around aimlessly for no particular reason. I'm sure if you ask the director or the band, it's probably supposed to be some sort of metaphor like, okay, so the white dress represents hope and the grass represents her father and she's searching for like what it means to be in love. I'm sure they have some very deep explanation like that, but I don't know, just kind of looks to me like she's lost. And not lost in like the metaphorical sense. I mean, like she literally doesn't know where the fuck she is. Like, wait, which way is the parking lot? Fuck, I don't have any service out here. My feet are starting to hurt. And maybe the single most common video trope of all time is the band rocking out in some grungy abandoned warehouse kind of thing. This might be the actual literal worst video concept ever because there's absolutely nothing at all interesting about it ever under any circumstances. No band should ever make another video like this again, ever. There have been 0 times when somebody watched a grungy warehouse video and was like, oh fuck yeah, like that video was so cool. Never happened. What's bizarre to me is that with all the supposedly creative people involved between like the director and the band and the label and whoever else is involved, like nobody raises their hand and says like, I don't know guys, really? We're gonna make another grungy warehouse video? That's the best we can do? Like how do these videos even happen? Who signs off on this shit? And moving on, of course, we have to talk about the rain trope, the band playing in the rain for some unexplained reason. Usually accompanied by really intense backlights so it looks super dramatic, and maybe a slow-mo shot of the drummer hitting his snare or cymbal so it makes a big splash. The most notable example of this from the scene era would probably be Asking Alexandria, although they were far from the only ones who used this. Sometimes it made sense, like with Bullet for My Valentine, because, you know, tears falling, rain is kind of like tears and it falls, makes sense. But most of the time, it's just like, wait, why is it raining all of a sudden? But my personal favorite example of it is the Capture the Crown video, which might be the single most generic metalcore song and video ever made because it combines pretty much every one of these tropes into a single video. You can tell they really wanted to do the rain thing, but they didn't have the budget for like a real rain machine. So they just had their friend stand out of frame with like his thumb over the opening of a garden hose, kind of sprayed it down on the singer. And they're like, that looks like rain, right? Yeah, totally. Looks just like the Asking Alexandria video. Nice work. And of course, the band playing in a bright white room. There's a ton of these. The one that stands out to me would probably be Black Veil Bride's Knives and Pens. This one is just sad to me because it's like the director just completely tapping out. Like, sorry guys, I'm kind of out of ideas here. Best thing I can come up with is you're playing in like a featureless white room. Yeah, no, nothing else. No girl tied in a chair, no rain, just a white room. I got nothing.
I hate this town, it's so washed up.
There's also the bullied scene kid gets revenge kind of trope, as seen in All Signs Point to Lauderdale by A Day to Remember, in which Jeremy McKinnon gets bullied and then all the scene kids team up to chase those big jerky bullies off. Or Misery Business by Paramore, where the badass rocker chick rolls into town, puts all the mean girls in their place. And I'm not gonna make too much fun of this concept because the appeal is obvious. I mean, these bands had a very young fan base back then, a lot of which were probably getting bullied, and so I understand that it feels good to see a video like this. I can't hate on that. But my personal favorite example of this is Waking the Demon by Bullied for My Valentine, which takes this concept to a whole new level. In this one, the bullied emo kid gets his revenge by turning into a werewolf, and he eats the bully jock that pushed him around. Seems a little bit extreme to me, but okay. So think twice before you stuff that emo kid in his locker. He might come back and eat you.
I will eat your ass.
And speaking of a day to remember, they have kind of their own little mini trope of getting B-level celebrities to make cameos in their videos. For example, Chris Kirkpatrick in Second Sucks.
Snake? Which one of you pukes just said snake?
And Ron Jeremy in The Plot to Bomb the Panhandle. I don't know why, but it seems like it should be illegal to have Ron Jeremy around so many young people. And this seems like such an obvious, easy way to make a video stand out that I'm surprised more bands don't do it. Can't be that expensive. But then again, bands are also so lazy that they keep making grungy warehouse videos again and again and again and again. So I guess we can't be surprised at their lack of creativity. And this one isn't really a trope per se, but I wanted to mention here kind of as a PSA to make sure that none of you guys out there in bands make the same mistake. I'm talking about the video for By My Side by Matty Mullins of Memphis May Fire, although the song is from his solo album of Christian pop. This might be the single cringiest video in this whole genre. The main thing is him driving around in his convertible PT Cruiser, which has the vanity license plate Mullins. Then he puts on a fedora and records some vocals in his spare bedroom. It's so corny that it legitimately makes me uncomfortable to watch, and I just feel bad for the guy. Clearly, this man does not have any real friends, because a real friend would not have let him make this mistake. They would have taken him aside and been like, ugh, as your friend, I can't let you do this. Come on, give me the keys to the PT Cruiser.
I'm completely satisfied.
Look at the look on her face. She knows this is a bad idea. She tried to tell him, but he wouldn't listen. And next up, a trope that I really sincerely miss, the we're just a bunch of dudes having fun with a PG-13 party in our backyard trope. I really miss videos like this because, man, remember when music used to be fun? Remember when bands had emotions other than I'm so moody and angsty and upset, and also really sincere and artsy? Mom, stop calling us Screamo. I told you we're a post-hardcore band. You see this trope in every genre, but to me it's just a perfect natural fit for pop punk. The earliest example I can think of would be the Saves the Day video for Shoulder to the Wheel. Although looking at that now, this is like the least raging party of all time. I've never seen so much social awkwardness in one room. There's also a deathcore variant of this where the party rages just a little bit harder, as seen in, of course, the video for Chelsea Smile by Bring Me the Horizon. A couple other good examples would be Animosity or Dead to Fall. And if you want to get super specific, there's an even smaller subgenre of the deathcore party video, the Hispanic deathcore party video, which involves a party but also grilling meat outdoors, like this. Or this. Another version of this, which I absolutely love, is Europeans trying to emulate what they think American pop punk kids are. The classic example being Chunk No Captain Chunk in Friends We Trust.
Hey dudes, are you ready to?
Nice job, guys. I mean, if you didn't know better, you would totally think this was some college house party in Columbus, Ohio, right? They've got the American sports teams and band shirts. They've even got a beer pong table set up. Nothing to see here, right? Just a bunch of American pop punk kids having a backyard party at their house in the United States of America, right? Another great example of this is Me vs. Hero, who did an absolutely amazing job of acting American, even down to getting varsity jackets made.
Yeah, we're there to get away.
Nice work, guys. Incredible cosplay. Very realistic. And on the deathcore side of things, Annotations of an Autopsy did this really well. The Windbreakers, the drummer's famous Stars and Straps shirt, the flat brim hats. If you told me that they shot this video behind their house in Philly, I'd probably believe you. But not every band did this quite so well. Sometimes they do let a few telltale European details slip in. For example, Kids We Used to Be by Your Demise. Everything was going so well with their premise of being American hardcore kids getting ready to have a house party. The band is unloading, the guys are picking out their outfits, the dudes are chugging monsters and playing some Street Fighter. All good, that checks out. Everything seems very American here. Until the next scene where everyone starts arriving at the party and wait, what? Greeting your friend with a kiss on the lips? Nothing wrong with it, just not something that is done in America. And then it gets even worse. They're playing dice, I guess because they saw it in a rap video and thought it looked cool or whatever. But all good there, looks fine. Until, oh no, they're drinking white wine out of flute glasses? Oh, guys, come on, that is not American at all. You were so close, you tried so hard, and you fucked it all up. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. And by the way, for everyone who says I don't talk about European bands enough, I actually sincerely love every band that I just mentioned there. And I'm going to invent a brand new genre right now called American Core. And I would love to see an American Core come back in 2020. Let's make it happen. And the montage of zany tour antics. We're just a bunch of carefree dudes in a band out on the road having the time of our lives. Don't you wish you were out here with us? Look at all this zany stuff we're doing. And I have to admit that I do have a soft spot for these kind of videos. Not because I want to go on tour or anything like that though. I would rather cut off my dick with a piece of a shattered Attila CD than live in a van for weeks with a bunch of band dudes. So it's not that I want to go out on the road or anything like that. It's just that, well, I'm old. So I'm just kind of nostalgic for that vibe of hanging out and doing dumb shit with your friends, like lighting each other's hair on fire while you're asleep. I don't want to think about insurance and my 401k and the fact that our HOA fee went up like 5% for the past 3 years. I just want to go get a Slurpee with my friends, listen to the Vandals, and fart on each other. Give me back my youth. All right, my friends, that does it for this video about videos, kind of meta. So let me know in the comments if you have any ideas for stuff you think I should cover in future installments. I also want to thank everyone who helped me come up with all the examples of this. You guys are amazing. I was gonna name everybody by name, but there was 250 comments on the thread. So I'll just collectively thank all of you. Also, before I let you go, number one, please check out the podcast if you haven't. There's a new episode every Monday. Link to that in the description. Number two, I want to thank everybody who supports us on Patreon, especially those of you who support us at the True Cult level or above. It is because of your support that we're able to do a bunch of things, but most notably because of the patrons, I was able to hire a producer and editor who makes the whole podcast happen. So I'm sincerely grateful for each and every one of you. If you would like to support the show on Patreon, patrons get every podcast a week early. There's a chance to have me review your band or YouTube channel or podcast or design portfolio or any other kind of creative project you want to send my way. So if that sounds interesting, there's a link to that in the description. And don't forget to download Hustle Castle via my link below. Start building your castle, get yourself some fighters and archers and knights and mages, geek out on upgrading all your people, get yourself a little dopamine hit from opening one of those chests you get after every battle. And with that, I'm going to sign off for now, but I will see you next time.